trained for a 10K. Notice I didn't say I did a 10K because my limit's about 6K. And then my knees go, no. What I did was I shifted into bike riding. My knees love bike riding. And I got the same amount of exercise doing a different activity. I changed my plan, but I had a plan. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew I couldn't get there the course I was going, so I course corrected, and I ended up achieving my goal 100%. Other things, I think this third one is important too. It's when you have a plan and you know where you're going to be on certain days, you have a measuring stick to measure against. You know, I lost a certain amount of weight. I felt really good about it. But was this where I was supposed to be? Or on my bike ride down here, I'm at this point, and if I wouldn't have known that this is where I was supposed to be, I might have thought, I'm so far ahead of schedule, I'm going to take a break. And then I would have been showing up tomorrow, and you all would be sitting here wondering, where's Bill? On the other hand, I could have said, I'm behind schedule. I know I'm just behind schedule. I got to ride 80 miles today, and burnt myself out, or got too tired, or had an accident or something. It gives you yardsticks that you can measure against to guard against overconfidence or lack of confidence. And lastly, another key thing, I think it's a good way to determine whether you're ready for weight loss. This is where this pre-surgery diet and exercise plan comes in. There are a lot of people, and I know in the opening session they asked, did anybody have a, what you call it, a last meal or
food funeral.
Yeah, food funeral. Now, I'm not going to dump on that idea. I don't mean that, because the actual act of doing that, it depends on how it means in your head. But I meet people all the time who say, boy, I can't wait to have surgery so that X. Now, like I said, I've considered weight loss surgery for 10 years, and I thought, well, gee, it's pretty simple. My stomach's going to be small. I can only eat this much food. I can do that. I'll do that 5 times a day. I'll just eat this much food. That's easy. That pizza? Wow. Out goes that idea. I'm eating the pizza. Next day, same thing, and then we have to go to a wedding reception or a birthday party or something, and there's cake. That's why I discovered my problem was I couldn't control that. But people who think it's going to, we have a friend back home who said, I can't wait to have surgery so I won't crave sugar anymore. I said, Holly, I have really bad news for you. You're going to crave sugar. I mean, you might not for a couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever, when you don't want to eat anything, and everybody's different. My honeymoon period lasted a long time, but, they operate in your stomach, not your head. So you're still going to have these desires and these cravings. The temptations will still be there. If you're not ready to make the change now, but bottom line is when you go to have weight loss surgery, the contract you're making with yourself is that I'm going to make a change for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. When does the rest of your life begin? Well, it just began. Actually, it began 5 seconds ago. 10 seconds ago now. We've just wasted 15 seconds talking about it. The rest of your life has begun. If you are interested in making a change for the rest of your life, and you're committed to it, then you're committed to it now. Anybody ever a smoker and quit smoking? I never understood this one. Next month, I'm going to quit smoking. Maybe. Although quitting, I hear, is easy. I know people who have done it 10 or 12 times. My father was one of those guys who just said, I'm going to quit smoking. And he quit. I remember 2 weeks into it, going home to visit him and saying, hey, Dad, how's it going? And he couldn't understand the question. What do you mean? Well, you quit smoking. Yeah. I know, but how's it going? I quit smoking. Okay, Dad, no problem. Thanks. Good luck. My mom, on the other hand, Mom, how'd it go? Oh, I want to kill somebody. Everybody's going to figure out how to smoke anything. My mom was the one who would say, I'm going to quit next week. Well, next week. She was never prepared to make the commitment. So to me, if you're not willing to have a pre-surgery diet and exercise plan, and it may be limited. My pre-surgery exercise plan involved walking around the block, which is pretty much what I was limited to. I did it. I successfully did it. My post-surgery exercise plan, like I said, made many modifications and changes. And that's what I was just talking about, the changes for the rest of your life. The other thing that I think having a plan does is, and this kind of ties into point number 4 too, because all these are kind of related. The other point number 3 here is that if you have a plan, it allows you to incorporate things like eating after you achieve your weight loss goal, or maybe after that honeymoon period goes away. I remember being up in Michigan, where we were working at the time and had my business. It was Christmas time. It was December 23rd. So I had surgery in October. It's only a month and a half later or so. And I took the whole office out. You know, and they're having beers and chicken wings and all that, and I'm sitting there with a glass of water. But I'd lost 75 pounds, I think, in the first 2 months. You know, it was just incredible. I felt great. Sitting right across the table from me was Jo, a woman who had had this surgery 5 or 6 years earlier. And she was just watching and listening because everybody was going, Bill, it's so remarkable. You look so great. It's so wonderful. And then they'd say, don't you miss drinking the beers and eating the chicken wings and all that? And I'd say, you know, every time I feel like that, I just get up, walk in the bathroom, look in the mirror and go, I don't miss it at all. Jo looked at me at a quiet moment. She said, Bill, you know, that's great while you're still losing weight. But one day, you're not going to lose weight anymore. But you're still not going to be eating chicken wings and drinking beers. What are you going to do then? And I got to admit, I was so mad at her. I was so mad, like, why are you stopping on my parade? What's wrong? I thought you were my friend. Why are you saying this to me? I didn't say it, and I just fumed about it. I went home that night, I was mad. And at about 3 in the morning, sitting there thinking about it, suddenly I realized, I'm an idiot. She just gave me a great gift. She just told me something that I can't foresee. How would I know it's going to happen and something I've never experienced or gone through before? She speed learned me experience. My grandfather used to have a colorful saying that there's certain things you can't explain to a virgin with words and pictures. Well, this was one of those. This was one of those. I went to work the next day and said, Jo, I just got to talk to you. I said, last night I was so mad. She started apologizing. Please don't apologize. I'm telling you, you just gave me the greatest gift. And it set me up to know that one day when my honeymoon period's over and my appetite came back, and it did. I mean, there were days I couldn't force myself to eat 250 calories, and then there was the day I just wanted to eat everything. I felt it come back. I was prepared. I had that post-surgery diet plan. So your chances are greater, for success are greater when you develop a plan. Recklessness and sabotage. You know, again, this is that saying that I've got a budget due at 8 in the morning, I'm going to start at 8 at night. That's just reckless. There's also things like sabotage. It's a human condition. We do this a lot. We sabotage ourselves. I guess we can't stand the fact that things are going so good for us. So we've got to come and ruin it somehow. I don't know why we do it. It's a well-known psychological thing, though. I didn't want to suffer that. I didn't want these old habits and these dormant traits of mine to come out and affect my weight loss program. So I never really come up with a good title for this one, but what it amounts to is that, well, let me tell you a story first. When I first started eating, you know, after the liquid diets and the puree stuff, I'd eat some stuff, and if I ate a little too fast or a little too much, I'd throw up. And people, with all good intentions, I'm sure, would say to me, Bill, you just got to learn your limits. And I say, yeah, you know, I got to learn my limits. And I thought about that for a minute, and I thought, well, it really is only practical if my goal is to eat up to the edge of and when I throw up. Why would I want to do that? You know, eat right up to, I'm going to throw up. What does that do for me? So instead, it occurred to me that maybe I should give myself my body the fuel and the nutrients it needs to do the things I'd like to do, like ride my bike and so on. And the truth is, when you give your body what it needs rather than what it wants, you're never going to come close to testing your limits. In fact, knowing your limits is not really all that. I knew my limit when I weighed 400 pounds. This guy here knew his limit. He could eat 5 Big Macs. Knowing my limit didn't help me at all. I don't have any idea how much I can eat today. I don't need to. And I get sad sometimes. I see on blog sites and stuff, people say, when am I going to be able to eat a full Subway sandwich again? And I always want to write back, and sometimes I do, why do you want to eat a full Subway sandwich? Why do you need to eat a full Subway sandwich? What is that doing for you? What do you think it's doing for you? The other thing that happens a lot is we sabotage ourselves with distractions of time and effort. And again, this guy would have done this. Well, I'd love to start a diet program, but I don't know what percentage of carbohydrates and what percentage of fat, and geez, should I have a 1,200 calorie diet or a 1,400 calorie diet? Dude, you weigh 400 pounds. You eat 3,500 calories a day. Try 3,300 calories a day. Then try 3,200 calories a day. Then try 2,800 calories a day. And fine tune as you go. You know, if I was a body fitness competitor or something, and 2% body fat, those people worry about things like that because they are already so finely tuned. It's the same thing with exercise. This guy would have said, oh, I don't know, should you do sit-ups? Should I lift weights? It's so confusing, and then you don't do anything. Dude, you weigh 400 pounds. Don't worry about trying to run a 5K, try to walk 5 houses. Then walk 6, then walk 7. Fine tune that as you go. If you're Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, he has a whole team of people that every day design a new workout program for him. But he's the fastest man in the world. He's one of 7 billion people. That's it. 1 in 7 billion. You're not 1 in 7 billion. I'm not 1 in 7 billion. Do a little bit better today than you did yesterday. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned that weight loss is really a simple concept. You bring in less calories than you burn up. It's first grade math. We learned it a long time ago. We all know it. It's simple. It's just not easy. That in order to be successful, we should find ways to help make it easier for us. And to do that, identify the kind of barriers that often confront us in other big projects that we've tried to do in our life. And you didn't have to grow up being a project manager. If you've ever raised kids, you've had projects. If you've ever had a career, you've had projects. Anything you've ever done, like I said, my bike ride was a project. To make it easier, identify your barriers, and then develop strategies to overcome them. In my case, the barrier of conflicting priorities, I made myself the first priority. Of dishonesty, I said I'm going to learn to be brutally honest. Of having poor planning and implementation skills, I said I'm going to go through a continued evaluation and renewal cycle. I'm going to have a plan, I'm going to follow it, I'm going to analyze it. If I'm off track, I'm going to design how to get back on track. I'm going to repeat that cycle for the rest of my life. And number 4, I'm going to find a way to overcome the kind of sabotaging and the kind of reckless behavior that has gotten me in trouble, so that I don't go backwards, I don't have regain, that I don't fail. I don't have somebody come and say, Bill, you're the worst project manager I've ever seen in my life. You are capable of far more than you can imagine. You can do this. Do a little bit better today than you did yesterday. Eat well and exercise. Believe in yourself. It's the journey that gets you there, not the surgery. A better life and a new life awaits you. Go get it. Go get yours. Go get it. Thank you very much.